play your cards. Okay.
Want to take a picture?
No, no. Oh, you mean for me? Hi, this is Tom from Millennium Blackjack. Welcome back. This is casino game control in Blackjack, part 2. In the last part, we discussed how casino do have game control. And in the past, casinos will teach dealers and supervisors how to count so that they know what is the count is going and they could see if the bet is increased. However, if you see in places like Las Vegas, in the last July, the California didn't even play blackjack the whole of July. I don't know for how long, because there's a high turnover and a lot of staff are unionized, and the casino can't afford to have this staff conversant with card counting. For that reason, most casino has abandoned this way of dealing with card counters. For them, they just make sure that the game is well controlled by the number of decks that are played. You'll see all casinos, when the cards, whether single deck or double deck, when they're played, they've got on the discard tray, they've got a marker that is used so that if the dealer is dealing a single deck, a measure there where the cutting card must be put. The same thing with the double deck and the shoe games, so that is well controlled. The rules are such that the game is is less favorable to the players. Some games like single decks, you'll find that you only double down on certain numbers like 9, 10 and 11. Some of the games will have that. Some will be varied, maybe 3 to 6, where you might double when you've got 9, 10 and 11 and so on. And this they vary according to what they prefer to control the game. some of the games you don't have any surrender. In Las Vegas, the surrender will only be in high-stake games. So, and also they introduced that the dealer will hit soft 17. It's only high-stakes games that the casino will stand on soft 18. So the casino are very smart in doing that. The next thing you'll see that the games, whether it's double deck games and the shoe games, they can either be hand shuffled or automatic shuffling machine. When some casinos, they've got one deck being shuffled. When they reach the cutting card, the dealer takes those cards and put into the automatic shuffling machine, and as the dealer puts those cards, the next card lifts up and they take the next card that was next deck that was being shuffled. That's automatic shuffling machine. On the extreme, you've got where there's a continuous shuffling machine, which is typically the shoe games. And and this is how, and you will see that because the casinos know the advantage, the household of each of these games, whether it's hand shuffled or it's on an automatic shuffling machine or on a continuous shuffling machine, you'll see that in Las Vegas, you'll see casinos where they've got these variables, say on a single deck, on a double deck game, you'll find that the limit on each of these games will be different. So you'll see, for example, on a 5-deck game, which they've now after COVID, almost very few casinos still have that, like maybe Downtown Grand and then El Cortez and so on. But most of the other casinos have sort of ditched out 5-deck game because maybe they want because the problem when the casinos got lower limits, it gives the chances to the player to have an adequate bankroll to avoid risk of ruin. For that reason, the minimum they increase, the more chances of players playing having a risk of ruin. So for that, obviously, it also increased the bottom line, which is very important to them. You'll find that, for example, a 5-deck game in Boyd casinos, as for example, find when they say hand shuffle, they will give a limit on a $5 minimum of 200, that the maximum is 200. When it's an automatic shuffling machine on a game where you're playing one deck, the other deck is being shuffled, you find the limit will be higher, 500. If the whole deck will be on an automatic shuffling machine, it will be $1,000 maximum bet, because casino really know their odds and on each of these. And casinos do this because they document all these tables over a long period of time, a year, 2 years, so that they've got statistically valid information as how much money they make in each of the games they're offering, whether it's hand shuffled games in the casino, automatic shuffling machine games in the casino, or continuous shuffling machine games in the casino. So they really have got statistically significant information on it, hard facts. They don't use any falsehood or any information. They use hard facts that they see in the casinos. So people have calculated before most of these changes took place, the average hand that the dealer had was 18. After this game control of shoe games, new shuffling techniques, the average hand that the dealer has is 19. So, and this is a very magnificent change from an average of 18 for the dealer to an average of 19 for the dealer. And then the next thing you can look at, the casinos give all the information, all the revenue they generate from the tables, how much money gamblers brings to the table, how much money the casinos make. All this information is calculated by the University of Nevada for the purposes of IRS, Internal Revenue Service, how casinos should pay their taxes. But obviously the casino also use that information for their own, to promote, to see where they're making profits and where they would like to make more profits in the future. And for now, the table holds for blackjack these days. In Las Vegas, it varies somewhere about 12 to 15%. So if you sit down in a blackjack table, casinos expect to take about somewhere between 12 to 15% on a blackjack tables. So that's the table holds. And in Atlantic City is much higher, somewhere between 15 and 20%. And this is calculated by the Department of Gambling and Statistics, University of Nevada in Las Vegas, just off Las Vegas Strip. I've been there to see, just around the convention center. You go down, you will see the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and the director there is Dr. David Schwartz, who's the director of Gambling and Statistics Department. And this information is they publish monthly, and if you Google their website, you'll see there, and you can check all casinos in the United States or your own favorite casino. They will tell you how much money has been gambled for blackjack, how much money the casino made in profit, and therefore we calculate the table holds for your casino where you play blackjack, and this information is available everywhere. Some of the people teaching blackjack, so-called traditional counters, they either don't know about this, or if they know, they don't tell their subjects where they taught, because this just blow everything away, that they're being told BS. The advantage, if you're doing traditional card counting, you are just going to be a meat, you're going to be a meal to these casinos. You have to do it completely differently, because the way they are taught by these traditional card counters, they so-called the boot camps, you're gonna be a really meal for the casinos, because the way they are taught is for the casinos when they were still dealing the blackjack, like in the 60s and early 70s, before changes were made in 1979. Changes have been made since 1979 up to now, and these changes were happening gradually. And if you just Google University of Nevada in Las Vegas, Department of